this is downtown Broome. As you can see, there's not too many buildings that are over 1 story tall. This is pretty much what Broome, I think, was always like. I think the central business district of the shopping centre has just got a little bit bigger over the last 30 or 40 years, with a lot of tourist shops, coffee shops and pearl outlets. These photographs show you just how close the airport was built to the original town centre. This is what it looked like in the early 70s and late 80s. Now the town has grown right around the airport. When the wind is right, aeroplanes land almost right up the street. There he is. These mangroves mark the creek where the original pearl luggers used to moor to unload their mother of pearl cargo. Now the creek is just about all choked with mangroves. During our stay here, we took a couple of bus trips out into the Kimberley country. Here we are in Beagle Bay, making a stop at the local toilet and having a look at the quite famous church, whose inside is decorated with a great deal of mother of pearl. After a very welcome morning tea at Beagle Bay, we headed off to Cygnet Bay, where we had a very close look at a cultured pearl farm.
That happens when they're out in the ocean, out on our long lines. So it's only for harvest. What I do is I give it a little poke. This little light will actually start to attract it some of the way. And then I'm going to slice it.
Our next stop was One Arm Point, where we had a look at a fish hatchery that also specialised in raising crocus shells.
It's a hawksbill, but we don't eat the hawksbill. Yeah, they mainly go for the greenback, but they go for the.
The tides in this part of the world have a tidal range of about 11 metres. Here we can see the water rushing out of King Sound on its way to the Indian Ocean. Finally, we reached our destination for the day, which is Cape Levesque. After spending a very pleasant hour or so here, enjoying a nice iced coffee, we headed off to Broome. We finally got back at about 7 o'clock at night after a 12-hour round trip over some very difficult and bumpy roads. Our second trip took us deep into the Kimberley up to Winjana Gorge and Tunnel Creek. Our first stop was the prison baobab tree just outside Derby. The story is that the hollow trunk of the tree could accommodate recalcitrant prisoners on their way to Derby, mainly Aborigines who were being blackbirded to work on the west coast. Well, perhaps. Our next stop was Winjana Gorge, which is a cleft in a 450 million year old coral reef. Its main claim to fame is the freshwater crocodiles that abound here. Theoretically, they are not dangerous unless you tread on them. The highlight to any trip to Broome is undoubtedly Cable Beach. It stretches from Ganthium Point, we're looking at here, 22 kilometres to the north. Cable Beach is famous for two things, the first of which are camel rides. The second thing that Cable Beach is famous for is the beach at low tide. Here, as you can see, it's over 100 yards wide and hard enough to drive four-wheel drives on. When the time is right and the tide is right, the locals come down here to enjoy a sundowner as the sun goes down. So that's where we leave our trip to Broome.